But when you do insurance, can't you just submit your stuff after the fact and get them? No? Because my son did that. My son took his receipts and he sent them to his insurance company and they reimbursed him for one.
Well, I should try.
Yeah, you should try. It doesn't work, right?
Yeah, Costco was fine. I switched over to
I'll go somewhere else that'll be like $800-$900. The hospital is $400.
yeah, it's like, I love this ring. I paid way too much for the
Yeah.
Well, I looked at my company, so this might be Costco, but
No, no.
but they have a lot of fun stuff. Sweden opened a kitchen for cheap rhinestone. So that's studded rhinestones. It's a good price. It's not me. Right. It's just get sometimes I have to say no.
I mean, like if we do $50 for the price,
But the hearing aids are the same. It's $15. To get glasses made, I do. I get hearing aids.
oh, okay, so yeah.
Right. It's free. And they like that.
I'll write you a quick, yeah. I think we should get some of this on the picture. You guys can see her and stop talking.
I can talk forever. I know it. Okay. This is a big crowd. This is a big crowd.
Welcome. We're going to get started in just a minute. So if everyone would sit down, we can start this wonderful presentation. Welcome to the Jay's 72nd Annual Detroit Jewish Book Fair. My name is Suzanne Simon, and I am a co-chair of the Book Fair Committee. And the Book Fair is proudly sponsored by the Jay, where you can find your Jewish center. Book Fair would like to thank our Silver Book sponsor, B'nai B'rith International, Great Lakes Region, for their support. And thanks to all the generous donors, we are able to present most of our programs free of charge. And we invite you to become a sponsor or patron as well. And please visit our jccdet.org/bookfair site for more information. We also would like to thank Schuler Books, our community bookseller partner for 2023, and extend especially our gratitude to the entire Book Fair Committee. Your dedication and efforts have made this all possible. Today is our last day of these fantastic authors, and we hope that you will come to their final event at 2:30 today, Lynn Golodner's Women of Valor. Please also visit our bookstore after the program. Your purchases help to support our annual event and allow us to bring these wonderful authors to our community. Additionally, please shop our online bookstore where you will find more hand-selected books, and just visit bookshop.org/shop/Jewish Book Fair. And now it's my pleasure to introduce today's special guest. David Schwartz is the author of several books, Most recently, The Last Man Who Knew Everything, The Life and Times of Enrico Fermi, father of the nuclear age. David spent much of his youth in San Francisco, where his parents were early members of Price Club, which is Costco's predecessor. Susan Schwartz worked in marketing at Nabisco and General Foods in the 1980s when mass merchandising was just considered an alternative channel of distribution. She grew up in Philadelphia, where she delighted in shopping at Costco with her parents. Susan and David are proud grandparents and avid bird watchers. At this time, please silence your cell phones, turn off any devices that light up or make noise, and join me in welcoming David and Susan Schwartz.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. Thank you for having us. Thank you to the Detroit Jewish Book Fair. Thank you for everyone who's organized this. Thank you to Naomi Levine for hosting us here. It's just a delight to be here, and it's so wonderful to have such a nice crowd here. Just so you know, Detroit has a special place in Costco history. In the late 80s, Costco found that its Midwest business was failing, and it withdrew, actually. It closed warehouses in Minneapolis and in Milwaukee, and they went back to Seattle and tried to figure out what went wrong. And 10 years later, in 1998, in May of 1998, to make a statement that they were back, they opened 5 warehouses on the same day in Detroit. They've never did that before. They've never done that since. And if you have any sense of how hard it is to open a warehouse, you know how difficult it was to open 5 in one day. But that's why Detroit's important for this story.
So we're here at the JCC, so let's start with some genealogy. So our families are from Russia and Poland originally. My parents grew up in Brooklyn. David's in the Bronx. And so you could say, oh, and he's a Price Club kid and I'm Costco, so we're truly a mixed marriage. We've been married 20 years. Mostly to David's credit, and because we live together and work together in a 450 square foot apartment in Manhattan, that would be the size of, this lectern right here. It's if you think of it as a sailboat, it's not bad, but it's pretty cozy. So we started this project.
There we go.
Big drum roll. This project started at our favorite Chinese restaurant in Chinatown called Jing Fong. David had just finished writing his book about Enrico Fermi, and he was deciding what he wanted to write next as another science book. We were walking home to our apartment on the Upper West Side, and in about Times Square, I came up with the bright idea. I have no idea where. Let's write a book together about Costco. Okay, he wanted to write a science book. That's not Costco. I'd never written one. And let's see, it was 2016, there was no COVID, so travel was really easy. And the biggest problem, Costco is very humble, no interest in a book. So it took us 2 years to meet Jim Sinegal and Craig Jelinek.
That was in August of 2018.
August of 2018, so 2 years of working on it. We met them in August. Jim spent 6 hours with us. At the beginning and the end of it, he said no book. He validated our parking. He treated us to a hot dog at the Issaquah warehouse across from the home office, which was like going to Graceland with Elvis. I mean, people were staring at us like, who are you? Why are you with? I mean, it was amazing. And then he said, no book, and we floated away thinking 6 hours, we're good with that. 2 weeks later, he called and said, hey guys, no book.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I said to him, listen, we hear you're not going to cooperate, but you can't stop us from writing this book. And he said, no, I can't. So we continued to work. And one of the things we did, the next major change was we got a new agent. Our old agent, very, very good agent, but didn't understand Costco at all. This guy, Jim Levine of Levine Greenberg Boston, his father had been a vendor to Costco in Los Angeles. So he understood Costco very, very well. And he helped us come up with the idea. In fact, he and his partner, Courtney Paganelli, came up with the idea of writing it for people who are excited about Costco and making it an A to Z.
At which point David said, oh, this book will write itself. Okay, folks, books do not write themselves. It took 7 years. He made it look easy with Fermi. It's not. If you're thinking about writing a book, we'll take you aside and set you straight. Don't do it.
We had been keeping Jim Sinegal, the co-founder of the company, apprised of our progress, even though he didn't want the book written. And in April of 2021, we got an email from him out of the blue saying, listen, I've talked to the CEO, Craig Jelinek, and we've decided that I should read the book to make sure it's accurate. So we flew down to Washington to meet him.
We took the train.
I'm sorry. We did take the train. We took the train down to Washington, and we met with him. His grandchildren were graduating from Georgetown, and we had a great meeting with him. And we said we wanted to come out to Seattle and meet with two people. We wanted two people. We wanted to meet Jeff Brotman's widow. Jeff was the co-founder who had died in August of 2017. We never got a chance to meet him. And we wanted to meet Penny Yonachella Clark, who was the book buyer for Costco for 35 years. And so we flew out to Seattle, and that's when the cooperation really began. And he rolled out the red carpet for us and introduced us not only to those two people, but to all the founding executive officers of the company and many senior current executives.
And we also informed him at that meeting that where he didn't eat lunch, but we did. Don't ever let anyone do that to you. It's really uncomfortable. We told him we had decided to publish it ourselves because 22 publishers had turned the book down because Costco wouldn't commit to it because there was no book written yet. And also another 2 publishers gave us offers that were so unattractive, we said, oh, let's just do it ourselves. Our company, Hot Dog Press, this is the whole company right here. So we also voluntarily gave Jim full, complete review and approval of the manuscript at that lunch. So I think he started to feel like he could trust us, or at least he knew we weren't going away.
That's right. So from 2020 to 2023, we did what we call the Costco World Tour. We made it a point to visit at least one Costco in every state that there is one. And right now there are only 4 states that don't have them: Maine, Rhode Island, West Virginia, and Wyoming. And both Maine and Rhode Island will be getting them soon. So I see a hand up there. I don't know when Wyoming or West Virginia will get them, but we've been to one Costco in every state, also Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., and we've been to one Costco in every country outside of the United States where they have them. And they have them in 13 different countries. They have them in 4 countries in Europe. They have them, I think, in 6 countries in Asia, also Australia and New Zealand, and Mexico and Canada.
And yes, your Costco card gets you in anywhere around the world.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, January of 2023, we're coming to the end of the writing of the book, and we're in Mexico visiting a town called Jalapa, which begins with an X, for the X chapter of our book. And we get a call from our art director, Bonnie Siegler, who designed the book, and who is a wonderful art director and production manager. And she says to us, you know, David, Susan, you have enough text for 600 pages, but you were planning for 300. What should we do here? So I will be very honest. Susan cut the book by 300 pages over the next 3 weeks.
David cried. He just cried, like, no! Anyway, we cut it down.
I had 20 pages on logistics. Anyway. And then finally, on September 12th, is that right? Yeah. September 12th, 2023, we published, to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the opening of the first warehouse in Seattle.
And on September 21st, we had our 20th wedding anniversary because we survived the publishing and the writing and the whole 220,000 miles of travel.
Costco's business model is deceptively simple. I mean, it can be described very simply. They sell only 3,800 items at a warehouse of the highest quality. They only mark up products at most 14% above what they paid for them. And that's quite literal. So there's a story about how they had been selling Calvin Klein jeans for $29. They got a shipment of 100,000 at $22. They did not sell those at $29. They raised it 14% above the $22. I mean, that's the way they work. They also have a very, very simple code of ethics, but it's very difficult to adhere to it. It's obey the law, treat your members well, treat your employees well, and respect your vendors. And if you do all that, your shareholders will benefit. And Costco's stock has done better than any of its competitors over the last 5 years.
So that's the end of the serious part. Oops. Whoa. Okay, so what we'd like to do today is take you on the Costco World Tour. This is a trip around the world alphabetically. The book is A to Z for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Question and answer format. A sample question would be for hearing aids. Mine are from Costco. It says, what's that you say? Costco sells hearing aids? You betcha, more than anyone in the world. And right now I need to make sure everyone knows The test is free. You do not need to be a member. You simply need to make an appointment. If you want to buy them for only $1,500 instead of $10,000, you do need to join. And basic membership is $60. We do not work for Costco. We were not paid by Costco. We simply love the company. Let me repeat that. We don't work for Costco. But this is a great deal. I can eavesdrop in Minnesota. So we're going to take you around the world alphabetically.
Alaska. Alaska is the home of the smallest warehouse in the world. This is in Juneau. It's about 75,000 square feet, which is about half of a normal warehouse. They sell reindeer sausage in Alaska. They sell that's honey. Yeah. So there are no indigenous bees in Alaska. It's one of these strange things. So they have to import all their honey, and they love mead. So this is why they have vast quantities of honey shipped in.
Perfect for Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, they also have a lot of bears, and they sell a lot of bear spray.
I'll do it. Unfortunately, we did not buy any. We had a good chuckle about this. As somebody said, we're bird watchers. So on Labor Day, because Costco is closed, we went bird watching, and we got to see this magnificent bald eagle. I took this picture. It's misting rain. David is holding the umbrella above me. So excited. Get closer and closer. Get this shot. Turn around, and 1 foot in front of us is a big pile of steaming bear poo. And we're in a park that has no cell phone coverage, and all we could think is, where is the 2-pack of bear spray from Costco?
And I don't know what I would have done if I turned around and seen the damn thing. Anyway, so we were very lucky.
Let's go to Australia. Australia is very far away. It has perhaps one of the most interesting food courts, and this shows it.
Should I?
Yeah, we've got the buttered chicken pie, which is in the food court. It's an Indian specialty, quite delicious. What we're going to say, Vegemite, 950 grams for 12 Australian dollars. It's a big tub like this. We brought one home for my stepson. He loves it. These strawberries are literally the size of my
I
hand.
mean, it's hard to see the scale, but I think
That's my hand.
That's Susan's hand in the back there.
These are gigantic.
Are like this, that big.
And then a less cheery note, Costco sells coffins and caskets. They're online only. Australia is the only place they have the demo model. This is not the full size, but they have these in the kiosks as you walk out of the warehouse.
Okay, this is in Canada. This is a very special Costco. This is the Marché Central Costco. It's where your rotisserie chickens started. 30 years ago, 2 guys in the Marché Central warehouse thought they wanted to copy Steinberg's, which was a big department store in Canada at the time. And Steinberg's had great rotisserie chicken, so they said, we could do that. And now you have it $4.99 at every store in the country, in the world, actually. And this is the rotisserie chicken at Marché Central. They also sell at the food court their traditional poutine, which is cheese curd, fries, and gravy. I checked in with my cardiologist after that. They also have something called Jean-Baptiste cake in Canada, which celebrates it's an annual French-Canadian holiday. And Costco has begun to make this beautiful cake, and it really is beautiful. It's a gorgeous cake.
China. Okay, China was one of the most exciting parts for me. I'd never been there, had always wanted to go. We wound up going in July of this year. Don't go in July, it's really hot. Like really, really hot. But it took a while to get the visas, but it was really worth it. So this is a shot outside the Shanghai warehouse. There are only Costco's in Shanghai. These are carts inside the warehouse. Okay, this is unusual. This is bullfrog fillets and snakehead fish fillets. When we saw snakehead, I thought it was actually snakehead. It's not that bad. It's just snakehead fish. Longjing tea. We actually went, we did a tiny bit of sightseeing in China. It's rare for us. Usually we do nothing but Costco. But we went to a tea farm, and we got a little tiny thing of that tea, this big, for $100. That huge thing of the same tea, the glorious gift pack was
I think about
$100.
No, about $40.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very.
That's Costco.
And it's considered the best green tea in China. So it's Longjing.
And in the produce section, the biggest bags of fresh ginger and fresh garlic I've ever seen, each for like $5. This is something unusual, truffle soy sauce in a 2-pack.
Who would have thought?
Let's go to France. France has got an amazing warehouse. It's one of the ones that's really unusual. It has what's called a living wall on the outside. And you can see that it's planted, and that's actually 3-dimensionally landscaped. Get close up. So you can see it's coming out of the wall. I don't know how they water this thing. There's one more shot.
Yeah, there.
It's really spectacular. And it's just because it looks nice and it's ecologically right. And that's Costco. It's not useful. It just looks good. Here we have croissants with the beurre Charente Poutu ALP. It's a special, like the special required government-approved butter. And another kind of ham and cheese puff pastry. A cheese platter.
Of course.
For like $20. I mean, really high quality cheese.
And
Methuselah of Saint-Emilion, of Bordeaux, lovely. And then finally, what everyone needs, a 2-pack of foie gras.
once again, check with your cardiologist. The next stop is Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is interesting. Costco is perfectly suited for Hawaii because it's very expensive to get stuff out there, and Costco can get stuff out there cheaper than almost anybody else. It turns out that Iwale, which is this warehouse in the neighborhood of Honolulu, is the busiest warehouse in the world. It is the busiest warehouse in the world. We went in on a Tuesday afternoon, and it was very crowded. And the general manager gave us some proprietary details on it. And they do a lot of transactions in a day.
It's a regular size Costco. It's the same as anyone else.
Yeah,
Not normal.
the Hawaiians love it. In the Maui warehouse, which we went to, they have solar panels because the heat gets the sun is very strong. Now it's important. Maui had that terrible fire, Lahaina, and Costco stepped in and helped the community by providing free water, free supplies, free staples, etc. They love Spam in Hawaii. I mean, Spam is the most popular item in many of these warehouses. They also have a custard pie that is just wonderful. This is Honolulu Cookie Company. Honolulu Cookie Company is a very local company that they have brought worldwide because they ended up getting together during the pandemic when the Honolulu Cookie Company's retail outlets closed because there was no tourism. So they got together with Costco, and now it's sold from Tokyo to New York. It's an amazing thing. They had been shipping eggs from, I think from Arizona to Hawaii for 20 years. And they finally got a farm in Hawaii, on Oahu, that they're happy with, and they sell their local eggs there.
This is a 1-pound container of poi, which is a very common condiment they have
it's
a side dish.
For your luau's, yes. The pineapple, of course, is very popular there. This is hand-cut pineapple. And finally, you can buy Lay's at Costco for a fraction of the price you would pay it outside the warehouse.
Put your sweater on. We're going to Iceland. Okay, and this is the exterior of the warehouse and the tire center. And we got 2 shots here of the roof, which is very unusual. It has grass on top of it. It's a nod to the traditional, thatched roof hut, but it's also, another shot? It's also because there's a really nice building apartment complex right overlooking it, and Costco thought these people wouldn't want to have to look at the top of the warehouse. So voila, there's another very large retailer who I won't name, but it sounds a lot like IKEA. They're right across the street. It looks the same as it does everywhere else. It's a blue and yellow box. It plops down. Costco does not do that. They've got 875 warehouses around the world. They work with the local community. They change the way they look. And this is a great example. It's the only one in the world with a grass roof. I always get a kick out of this. The thing in the front seat of the cart in the different languages, that's Icelandic. And then the produce selections can be sort of limited there in the wintertime. So this is a kilo bag of radishes. Radishes are inexplicably popular in Sweden and in Iceland. I just got a kick out of it. They're really good quality radishes. And now to Japan.
Yeah, Japan was the first place in the Far East where Costco opened, and it's been a tremendous success. And this is therefore the principles I talked about earlier in Japanese. This is the food court. They have corn chowder, soft serve ice cream, falafel salad, and mango smoothies. And of course, they make sushi there. There's sushi throughout the Far East, but we thought this was a spectacular picture of them making it by hand in their in the deli section.
And we got to go back behind the scenes there, and they sliced it for us and made us fresh sushi. It was really good.
A 46-count box of fresh-made sushi for $24. Hokkaido is the northern island, and they get a lot of produce from that island, including corn, which they hand shuck in the warehouse for the members' convenience. Yes, the Japanese like riding bicycles, and they shop on bicycles, and there's parking for their bicycles at the warehouse. That's a very good question. How do they carry all this stuff on bicycles? I don't know, but they do. And we were treated to visits to a number of the different distribution centers throughout the world, but this is the one distribution center in Ichihara in Japan, and that floor says it all. That's what a Costco distribution center looks like. It's also empty because they get rid of all their products as soon as they come in, and that keeps the costs down.
So now we're in Mexico. This is another really unusual one in a town called Santa Fe in the suburbs of Mexico City. And if you need a vacation location, this is great. Vacation with Costco. We're going to open another company. But this is amazing. It's a national park. It's a huge gorge. And the Costco is perched very stably on the top edge of this thing. And on the top of it, they have the whole cost of the warehouse. Half of the cost was the warehouse, half of the cost was the top. On top of it, they have a soccer court, a skateboard park, a contemplative garden, and paddleball. And all of those facilities are open to the public for free, just because. Yeah. Cactus is very popular. This is organic nopal, which is delicious. And this is cheese with nopal. Yes, you can buy motorcycles at Costco in Mexico. Next. This is a specialty version of Tanqueray we had never seen elsewhere. Costco sells a lot of liquor. They're the #1 distributor of wine and booze in the world.
Yes, they are.
And a lot of times they have special items you won't see anywhere else. We recently saw some indigo-colored gin. Have not seen that anywhere else.
New Zealand. This is the most recent country that they've opened in. This is an exterior. It shows you what they'll do if the community wants it. This doesn't look at all like an American Costco on the outside. On the inside, it looks very much like one. But they designed this in response to suggestions from the community.
This was our single longest trip, was to New Zealand, a 19-hour direct flight from New York to Auckland for one Costco.
And this is durian. I don't know whether you know what durian is. It's an Asian fruit, and I have deliberately never tasted it fresh because it's supposed to stink, but they love it. So there you go.
How many miles did you achieve?
220,000, I think, maybe more. That was just writing the book. Now we've been promoting it, so we're doing it all over again.
Okay.
Now we're in South Korea, which was really fantastic. So South Korea, I would say, is one of the countries that is most enthusiastic about Costco, even perhaps more than America. If this all works out, our plan and our hope would be to have the book translated into Korean and sell it there, because you cannot meet anybody in Korea who doesn't love Costco. You just can't. So the first shot here is the exterior with the line forming before the warehouse opens. This is a regular day. There were like 100 people there before the warehouse opened. In front of any large building in Seoul, you have to have, or in all of Korea, you have to have public sculptures, and that the company pays for, and this is a lovely one that was done in front of the Costco. Here we have whole parboiled octopus in the fish section, and in produce, an example of something unusual would be chestnuts and ginkgos. There, chestnuts and ginkgos. I'm not sure what you do with them, but never saw it anywhere else. And then we were there at the fall for what's called Chuseok, which is the holiday season, and so they were selling gift packs of things, and this is a gift pack of Spam.
They also love Spam.
In the food court, they had some unusual items, fresh watermelon juice, which was fantastic. And of course, who doesn't need a kimchi refrigerator? Apparently, most Korean families have 2 of them. So you no longer have to bury your kimchi in your backyard. You can just put it in the fridge. And then finally, I love these signs in other languages, this lane closed in, I think, Korean. I will mention that my hearing aids gave out in Seoul. We, of course, were at Costco. I walked in. I speak no Korean. He speaks no English. They were out of warranty. They fixed them.
Okay, Spain. This is Iberico ham in the deli section in Madrid. There are 2 outside Madrid, and this is very, very special stuff. The pigs are, I know it's not kosher. The pigs are fed acorns. It's called bolota ham, and it's very, very expensive. And at Costco, of course, it's much cheaper. This is one of our favorite food court discoveries.
Go back.
This is one of our favorite food court discoveries. It's called jamón croquetas,
Also not so kosher.
and it's fried. It has cheese and ham inside. This is called pastel salado. We didn't know what it was at first. It's in the deli. We look at it. We ask people. They can't explain it to us because they don't speak English. And so we decided to buy it and try it out. So we brought it to the food court, opened it up, and it's smoked salmon on the top, and then layered cream cheese, crab salad, and white bread. And it is spectacular. Once again, just amazing. It's called pastel salado, which simply means salted cake. But, and there are lots of different versions of it. That's the Costco version. And this is our celebratory meal that night with slices of Iberico ham, wine, and jamón Iberico. Anyway.
So now we're in Sweden, where we went in. Oops.
Yeah,
Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. Starts to blur. Sorry. We were in Sweden for the opening of the warehouse there. They have one there right now, and I believe they're opening others. It was very popular in Sweden. This is a language cart in a different language. And at the openings, they always have fun, unusual items. These are huge plush bears. I don't know how much they go for. This is a large Toblerone bar, which we did not bring home because we travel with carry-on luggage. It was a deal.
Yeah, this photo has been a real popular one for the media to pick up on.
Yeah. In the bakery, they were selling carrot cake, which surprised me because I think of that as being very American. But something very Swedish was called princess tort, which is a marzipan-covered green marzipan on the outside, and like a sponge cake with mandarin orange slices, and it's just delicious. Everybody sells this. Costco's is huge, great quality, the lowest price we saw.
We're now in Taiwan. Taiwan is one of these countries where it's very popular. Costco is very popular there, but there's no space. I mean, Taipei is like jammed together. So they shoehorn these Costco warehouses in the space they have, and they build up. So you can see it goes all the way up. Parking is up at the top. There are 2 floors for the Costco warehouse itself. Food on one level, hard goods and other items on another level. And this is us standing at the entrance. We couldn't help ourselves. And they use motorcycles to get there. There are motorcycles all over Taipei. It's the most popular form of transportation, but this is the parking lot right at Costco. This is a delicacy called silky chicken. It's chicken, but it has a black skin. And the picture of it when it's alive, it has its white feathers all over the place. It's really quite spectacular. And this
is golden kimchi, which is fantastic. Usually kimchi is very spicy. This is seasoned with sesame oil, honey, ground ginger, and carrot. And it's just delicious. And if there was one thing I was really tempted to bring back and sneak through TSA, it was that. I didn't. Instead, I found a recipe and I can make my own. But this is worth going to Taiwan for. It's really good.
Whitewater snowflake. It's one of the exotic items of produce that are sold locally there. I have no idea what it tastes like or even how to prepare it, but there you have it. But this is rice. This, you figure Costco's going to have a lot of rice in Asia. It does.
That was part of the rice aisle.
Yeah. And this is the best soft-serve chocolate ice cream I've ever had. It's in the food court in Taiwan. Why there, I have no idea, but it's the very best.
And the grand finale would be the UK. This building is in Stevenage, which is outside of London, and it's really unusual. It's listed on historic sites. It was a John Lewis department store distribution center. Costco took it over. They're really limited what they can do with it. We have an interior shot here, which shows the gin ornaments for your Christmas tree in the foreground, but in the background you can see those nice skylights. It's really unusual. The ceiling is about this high in most of the warehouse, so they don't have those big steel shelves that go all the way up to the top. They have those in the perimeter of the warehouse. So it's really unusual. And the food court. Okay, England has got the food court with the most items. This is a fraction of it. You see there the Aberdeen Angus cottage pie, which is like mashed potatoes on top and ground beef. They have bulgogi baked sandwiches and chicken baked sandwiches, and jacket potatoes, which was really bizarre. Okay, it's a baked potato. You can have it with either chili, tuna fish, or cheese, or all three on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Another shot of the food court. What can I say? They have real Italian gelato here from Italy. They also have that in Sweden. And then finally, free-range goose fat, a 2-pack. Why not? So with that, thank you for your attention. Happy to take questions and answers.
We have time for lots of questions, so
Half hour is good.
thank you, David and Susan. That was delightful, and their book is just the same. You will laugh out loud, and you will have facts to amaze your friends with.
Would there be any way to get some of this foreign food here?
Actually, much to my chagrin, a lot of it's showing up here. We've schlepped it home, and then we find it. I mean, I'll tell you, we went to the Ann Arbor warehouse last night because we're staying out near Ann Arbor, and tell your friends we're talking at the Ann Arbor Library tomorrow night at 6:30. But we found a delicious squid snack that we'd only seen in Korea. It sounds like we're totally trafe here, but whatever. The point is, it's delicious, and like we schlepped this home, and here it is in Michigan. Like, okay, I've seen other stuff that's shown up in Boston. Costco's interesting. Around the world, about 40% of the product is different regionally, like the reindeer sausage. I mean, it just changes, and so a lot more of that foreign stuff has now been coming over here.
And it also, they also tried to reflect the ethnic makeup of their communities. So in certain areas, you'll find a lot of halal food. In certain areas, you'll find a lot of East Asian food. I mean, San Francisco, you'll find dried sea cucumber on the shelves, and you're not going to find that in most other places. So it does vary from region to region, and it reflects the demographics of the community.
The mango smoothie that we saw in Asia, that came over here now. I'm not sure why. It tasted different. It wasn't as good. So sometimes it doesn't work as well as one might want, but I have seen a lot more stuff coming over here.
At the very beginning of your talk, you mentioned that, I'm way in the back, that Costco did not want you writing the book, but you, of course, wrote it anyways. So this picture of the two of you, is that at Costco with your book, and did they give in?
Yes. I mean, they, once they realized we were going to write a book, and once they gave us, once we gave them full approval of the book, they opened the doors. And so they're still not entirely comfortable with the book because it's a love letter to Costco, and they just are very modest. But the book is for sale at every Costco that has books. It's also on sale at Costco.com. It's also on sale at other bookstores, and when we love the independent bookstores that sell it. We absolutely adore the independent bookstores that sell it, and it's also on sale at Amazon.
It's for sale. Right now it's for sale all in the U.S. and Canada, everywhere you can find it. But I will say Costco is so modest, but they also are very, very clear on how lucky they've been. That 40 years of success. I mean, they've had 2 CEOs in 40 years. That's unheard of. They just recently announced a new CEO is taking over in January, but that's mind-blowing. And from the very beginning, we have a brief section at the beginning of the book that talks about the history of the company. Luck played a huge role, and they never want to take that for granted. We felt the same way. We never presumed Costco would sell the book, and we were grateful. We printed the books before we knew they were selling it. So, but they've been sort of...
All your presentations show stores in various countries. How does Costco.com and their physical stores interact?
Oh, that's a great question. They got into the online business late because they believed and still believe that a large part of the value of Costco is in the warehouse, in the physical warehouse experience. However, they understand that, in the modern shoppers want to have an online option as well. So what they try to do is not cannibalize each other's businesses. They have different stuff for sale on .com. In fact, .com typically has more items for sale than the Costco warehouse. And many times you'll find that something in the warehouse isn't available online, and something online is not available in the warehouse. So that's how they manage it. It's a balancing act, and it's one where it's ongoing, and they're still learning about it. But their goal is not to make the shopping experience in the warehouse obsolete. It's to make it really, really compelling, and it still is in our view. But they also want to give members the option of an online service.
To give you an idea of the size here, so it's highly curated. In the warehouse, 3,800 items, which is one of the reasons we thought, we won't presume they'll sell the book. Online, about 10,000 items. A supermarket's got 40,000, and Walmart has got 140,000. So Costco is highly curated. A lot of the shopping experience you have, it starts at the home office when they select what to sell.
Yeah, I have a shameless plug. The book is for sale here, and this is the only place where it can be autographed.
That's absolutely right. And once again, we love the independents.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And did we
we
mention?
love the JCC.
And did we mention it's self-published and every book counts?
Rumor is that Costco vodka is really Grey Goose. Is that true?
It is not only is it not true, but there were about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Wirecutter, which is an online service, I think the New York Times, rated it #1 in the world. #1 in the world. Costco's. No, it's a little big. It's a little big. It's not. There was a time when it was made with the same water that Grey Goose uses, but that's not even true anymore.
But a lot of the other Kirkland stuff is very well known, like the Kirkland batteries, like my hearing aid batteries made by Duracell. The tinfoil is made by Reynolds Wrap. They're very open about that. And the tuna fish, I believe, is Bumblebee, but not Grey Goose.
Did you find that the samples, in terms of their quantity and quality, were pretty consistent throughout the world? Did more places, did some places have more or better samples?
Well, David's the king of samples. He took that very seriously, that responsibility, sweetheart.
So let me say that generally they're consistent around the world. What happens is regional managers will decide what should be on sample in a given region. So you go from one region to another, there's slight differences. But the best sampling experience you'll ever have is if you're lucky enough to go to a Costco on its opening day, because they go crazy with samples on opening day. They just do. It's wonderful. So if you hear of another Costco opening in this area, go on opening day.
And the Costco opening schedule is on the website, so you can see what's coming up, in case you have nothing else to do. And the other thing is, in Asia, we've seen them sampling liquor at 10 in the morning.
Real quickly, Costco's opening up business warehouses now.
Yes.
How did they share that with you?
Well, the business centers that they have it's what Jim Sinegal calls their longest running experiment. Because, originally, Price Club, the original, was originally opened as a wholesale only shop, and then they found they couldn't do business that way, so they found a way to open it up to people like us. But they've always had a desire to service the small business community. And in many warehouses, even non-business centers, they do service the small business community. But the business center idea is devoted mainly to small businesses, and you'll find things like professional ovens and pizza ovens, wood-fired pizza ovens. You'll find anything that a small business really needs to operate. And I think there are something like 24, 25 of them throughout the United States right now, and they will continue to work on them and open more. And the experiment is ongoing. And
the business centers are open to everyone. So, for example, I got a thing of dillweed this big for $5. I mean, dillweed this big is $5 in the supermarket, or a huge thing of sumac and za'atar this big. And even if it doesn't last, if it goes bad, it was still a great price. But anybody can go to a business center. One thing about the business centers that's interesting is they move the items around less frequently because they think that the business community has less time to like go and wander up and down the aisles. They want to make it more efficient for them, less of a treasure hunt. They have enough excitement in their lives otherwise. The other thing is that they open much earlier and they rarely have a food court or a gas station. And they also deliver. So if you get your order in before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be delivered to you the next day, which is amazing. And we saw one in Canada as well. The business centers are a lot of fun.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to say is that, one of the things that people knock Costco about is they say, well, put small businesses out of business. And nothing could be further from the truth because many of their customers are small businesses. And many of their vendors are small businesses. I mentioned the Hawaii Cookie Company in Honolulu. That's just one of thousands of vendors that are mom and pop stores that have been selected by Costco to provide product around the world. The one thing they do with their vendors, which is very telling, is that they want their business with a vendor to be no more than 25% of the total business that company has. Because if Costco members don't like a particular product and it goes out of the warehouse, they don't want to have killed that business. So they're very careful about that.
This is what I noticed with a lot of the information about Costco. They have a very good reason for every single decision that they make.
Two things to mention there in the book. I won't go on about it. One is good works. I mean, talk about Sadaka. They do a lot of good works. David mentioned the fires in Maui. They were donating generators. If there's a hurricane, if there's some sort of natural disaster, Costco is there quietly behind the scenes donating and helping. The other thing is that they take care of their employees in a way that's just mind-boggling. The turnover rate after 1 year is less than 9%. And if you want to get a part-time job at Costco as a senior, which I'm considering if the book doesn't work out, after 3 months of part-time work, you get full health care coverage. That's unheard of. They do the right thing when no one's looking. And Jim Sinegal, the co-founder, says, it's not altruism to treat your employees well. It's just good business. When you walk in there, the employees are happy, and you feel it.
Once Costco came on board with supporting you with the book, did they monetarily support you with any
Not
of your
a
travel
penny.
expenses? No.
Not a penny. In fact, as David sort of alluded to, it's been a bit of a struggle because, the 40th anniversary was in September. That's when our book came out. And the Costco Connection, if I get one more call from my junior high school Hebrew school friend Peter Ben about how we're not in the Costco Connection, I'm going to kill him. I'm like, yeah, we haven't been in the Costco Connection. They're pushing Costco Monopoly. I have no idea what Costco Monopoly paid for that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. We will be in the Costco Connection in December. Thank you very much. But it's been, they really are sort of conflicted because they don't like people bragging. They're happy for the free publicity, but they don't like the bragging. So it's like, you go.
A comment and then a question. Costco is opening a business center at the former Northland property. It's under construction right now. And my question is, you mentioned earlier that you live in a 450 square foot apartment. How do two people who live in that small space take advantage of Costco and all of their big things?
Okay, so it's cozy. So we do a lot of entertaining. We've had a Passover Seder for 12 people. I mean, it's a small kitchen. So I'm very efficient in that kind of stuff. We do have a storage unit elsewhere in the building. It's like a small closet. And right now the apartment there's a problem because when we travel abroad, we ship stuff home we think we won't be able to see again, and then we do. So we have all this stuff sort of piled up. We're going to take care of it in January and February.
Hi, thank you so much. This is fascinating, but I do have a quick question for you. Have you done any studies in the U.S. as far as their stores? Because one of the stores that's up here is at Square Lake and Telegraph, and years before the COVID, I don't remember how many years before, they told me that they sold the most expensive diamond, I think, of all the Costco's around. So I wonder if you did anything for U.S. stores and did any kind of comparisons.
Well, we didn't do any deep dive or comparisons about who sold the most this or that. But yes, I mean, to your point, Costco is, I think, the 5th largest dealer of diamonds in the world. And, they sold the diamond you were referring to. I think we were told that there was a woman watching the Today Show in Chicago when they opened the warehouse in Manhattan. And she got on the phone and bought a $200,000 diamond ring,
Pink diamond,
that was on sale opening day in the Manhattan store. So I mean, they're very big in diamonds. You know, I think the comparisons are, there are certain things you'll always get at a Costco. You'll always get Tide. You'll always get, you know, Procter & Gamble is one of their biggest, probably their biggest vendor. And so Procter & Gamble, you know, products are throughout the store. You'll always get that. You'll always get eggs. You'll always get milk. But region by region, 40% differ. And that's what you look for.
And I don't want to give you the impression the book is all about international. We just thought it's fun to go around the world because we thought that was the most interesting part about the traveling. And basically, we found a way to write off a trip to Costco on our taxes. I mean, it's like dream come true. But they are very careful about their ethics with the diamonds in particular and with everything else. They do social audits on the vendors they work with to make sure that their employees are treated well also.
Did they share anything with you about the Kirkland brand? Is there going to be a limit of the number of Kirkland products?
Well, the Kirkland brand, I think, started in '94, and the objective is to sell a product. If they can sell a product that is as good as, if not better than, the national brand for a lower price, they will do that. And one of the reasons they do that, obviously, is because they want to provide value to the members. Another reason is because in the process of making that product, they will understand the business of that product and be able to negotiate with the national brands on cost and quality. And so they do it for two very good reasons, both of which help members. I think there are well over 1,000 Kirkland Signature products. I did look on the OU website a couple of weeks ago, and I think well over 800, it might even be nearly 1,000 now, are kosher. Not Kirkland, just Kirkland Signature, but no, I think Kirkland Signature, 1,000 products are OU. So they're very. Another thing that they've told us is that if they have a choice between selling two products, one has a hechsher and one doesn't, they'll go with the one with the hechsher. Yeah.
Another myth we'd like to bust is that they're not losing money on the hot dog or on the rotisserie chicken. What they've done is they brought the manufacturing in-house and vertically integrated so that they can keep the cost down and the quality up. So chickens got larger and larger over time. They started at 4-pound, now they're 6-pound. They weren't fitting the rotisseries anymore, so Costco in Nebraska opened a chicken manufacturing plant, which we have not gotten to see, but we've seen photos. It looks great. And I mean, that's how they do that. So they're not losing money on anything. They just limit the markup. They do no more than 14% markup. We've been to warehouses where the manager has told us the maximum markup was 10%. That's unheard of. They're making their money on the membership. They're not making it anywhere else. Just think about it. When you're at Costco, the first time an employee touches an individual jar of pickles is when they pick it up to scan it. Otherwise, there's no labor involved. It's just, individual packages. They're not pricing it. They're not putting it on shelves. They're not carrying it around. That's why the toilet paper is at the back of the warehouse, so they don't have to carry it very far. It's such a big item.
Susan, David, my name is Jeff Tackle. I'm president of B'nai B'rith Great Lakes Region. I want to thank you both for coming. I want to thank you both for coming. This is an excellent book. You should all buy it. They're here to autograph it, and I want to thank you again. Thank you very much for allowing us to sponsor.
Well, it's really been our honor. We are really honored to be invited to this special book fair. Thank you.
Thank you, David and Susan. Right outside the Janice Schwartz Gallery, you can pick up a book because I know you want to read everything else that's in here. It's delightful. And please stay. Our very last event is at 2:30, Lynn Glodner's book, Woman of Valor.
And we have samples. We have free samples. They're OU.
Oh, yes. She brought food.
They're toffees.
Almond toffees with milk chocolate.
Candy. What else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Costco in Madison Heights, which is 85 miles from here. They had coffee displays for a long time. Not in the last couple of years, but for a long time. A half off.
Wow. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.